Hey guys, welcome back to round 2 of the Vancouver, British Columbia Regional Championship. On your left we have Brit Pybas, who has qualified for Worlds many a time. I don't know if he's won any regionals. He's won a few states, I know that. He's a well-known player in the community.
I don't think he's won a regionals yet.
I know he's won at least one state. And on your right we have James Good, who is finished third at the World Championship in 2013, has won this regional, or got second at this regionals 2 years ago, has a few accolades of his own. You see that James is playing Kangaskhan, Genesect, Virizion. So from what I understand, it's a pretty standard Virizion Genesect deck, but with the addition of Kangaskhan. Not sure if he has any other techs in it, but I guess we'll see.
What's his reasoning behind Kangaskhan?
I don't know. He just told me what he was playing real quickly between rounds. I'm not sure if it provides any specific advantage. I know that it beats Pyroar, if you expect Pyroar on day one, which I don't expect too much of, but I do know that Brit lost to it last round, so maybe it's bigger than we think.
I do think Pyroar is a strong day one play, actually. I'm surprised to not see very much of it.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those risky things, but definitely strong in the right metagame. We see Brit playing Plasma.
Now you'll notice that these players are 0-1, but we couldn't resist the great matchup between two well-known players.
two well-known players, an interesting deck on at least one side of the field. One loss isn't the worst thing in the world, so we figured it was all right.
Is that an? I actually can't tell what Brit's active Pokemon is.
It's a Thundurus.
Okay.
Brit's playing matte sleeve, so it kind of reduces the glare, but kind of
like colors to me.
Yeah, they're also full arts is the issue.
Yeah.
So he attaches a rainbow and goes ahead and ends. I don't know what Brit's playing. There's many variations of the Plasma deck. You can play Kyurem, you can play Lugia, you can actually even play some of both. And then from there you break it down to, does he play Genesect, and for the catchers, does he play catchers, does he play Lysanders? There's a lot of different options you can go. I assume
I'd expect to see Kyurem.
Yes, if I were Brit, I would be playing Kyurems. But I know that David Cohen, for instance, is playing Lugia, or at least was. There's a water energy which indicates Kyurem to me, and there's a Kyurem. Is it a Genesect as well? Kind of difficult to tell these Plasma full arts apart. There's a Deoxys. There's the Kyurem. Frozen City.
So Brit's off to a pretty strong start here. He gets an energy attachment off of his Thunderous attack and is able to do 30 to the Kangaskhan.
No, he didn't get the...
oh, did he not?
No, there was no energy in the discard.
Well, my bad.
Still off to a fine start. I mean,
yeah.
Can't really ask for much more. Putting a little bit of damage on the Kangaskhan. And against an aggressive deck like Brit's, it's probably going to be difficult for James to skip a turn to Mega Evolve.
Yeah, I don't see Kangaskhan doing much here. He'll once it gets to the bench, it will probably just be warming it up.
Yeah. I like Kangaskhan a lot as a card. When it first came out, I really thought it would be really good in the Aromatisse type decks, which it was. The Japanese player top-8 Worlds, I can't remember his name now. But those decks haven't seen too much play. But in Genesect is an interesting choice. I wonder, maybe if James wins, we can get a quick interview with him about why he chose that in specific. Besides just the Pyroar counter, because it seems like there's a more efficient, less powerful but more efficient.
Yeah, Kangaskhan would not be my go-to between like Raichu and Beartick. All the available options. So James gets the turn 2 Emerald Slash and a fully powered Genesect. He also has a Muscle Band on Virizion, so he's set up for a KO on the Thundurus next turn. The Genesect. And we'll see how Brit responds. I expect him to promote the other Thundurus, probably. And then use Knuckle, whatever.
Raid and Knuckle.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, and also retreating to the other Thundurus also gets that energy in the discard pile, which can be important.
The Metal Gear Knuckle.
Metal Gear. Looks like a Lysander, a Water Energy, and a Plasma Energy in the hand of Brit.
Yeah.
No other supporters. Goes ahead, touches the water of the Kyurem. Looks like he's content. Oh, he's going to go ahead and just force that Kangaskhan up.
That's not bad, honestly. James will have to fish for another switch, and Brit will get some more damage on that.
For some reason, I thought he had
Kangaskhan.
a rainbow in his hand as well. And I mistook the plasma for it, which is why we were saying he could retreat into the other Thunderous. And I do wonder how many Switch James plays. I have to imagine it's a pretty high count with Kangaskhan, but also just jamming a Kangaskhan in the Virizion deck doesn't seem like you would have a whole lot of room left over. But he finds the second one off of a Skyla.
The Kangaskhan might just be a 1/1, which would actually provide more room than other techs.
Right. I mean, you could also run just a 1/1 Raichu. Or...
It's a little riskier since the basic has such low HP.
Right.
You don't expect the Kangaskhan to die as easily.
Right. I mean, and there are a lot of games, too, where Kangaskhan will just take 2 to 3 hits, you know what I mean? And just kind of, it's an EX and you're missing a turn for it, but if it can get a knockout or two, like, it can...
Its first attack is also not terrible by any means.
The drawing one.
Yeah.
It just straight draws 3, right, for 1 energy. Yeah.
So James is going to go ahead and take that KO on the Thunderous, and I assume he'll put 20 on Kyurem. He knows he's up on board position, and Brit has no great plays in hand.
And Brit's top deck is... he's hiding it from us.
We don't
the
know.
other card in his hand is a Plasma Energy. Looks like he's not going to play it. Whatever it is. And is forced to do...
He does
Frost
the disappointed
Spear.
hand wave of attacking.
Attack, I guess.
Yep.
Or maybe he's thinking, actually, I don't... Yeah.
So this is actually not that terrible, since James is not likely to KO the Kyurem this turn. And let's see, 140. If Brit top decks an energy or supporter or whatever, he can actually KO the Genesect next turn with a...
Actually, the Kyurem already has 20 on it, so he can. So James can actually, if he finds a muscle band, can knock it out. It's kind of difficult to tell with the clear dice on the blue and silver card, but
yeah, Brit's board is just a mess of blue.
Yeah,
can't see anything.
And there's a Deoxys, there's a Skyla.
So he'll grab the muscle band here, I assume. Oh, just a Juniper. Maybe he already has it.
Also, could be one of those situations where he takes a muscle band, gets the knockout, and then has nothing, and maybe he just needs to take the Juniper to actually like succeed throughout the rest of the game.
Oh, he has a Deoxys on board.
Oh, he does. My apologies. That's the knockout.
I didn't notice that either. And then he'll bop the
promotion of the Thunderous. Draw a card. Muscle band and energy on that
Brit's
Thunderous.
Just drawing nothing here.
Yeah, he actually has 0 cards in hand now. Attaches to the Deoxys off the Raiden Knuckle. James draws. If you're James 2, you gotta be feeling pretty confident. 3 prizes left. Your opponent's literally top decking.
Yeah. Hopefully he plays safe and tries to build up another Genesect.
Yeah, I don't... Maybe you and I are just too conservative of players, but I don't see a real reason to do anything crazy. I mean, if James has the G-Booster here, I could see him just playing it, just taking the knockout and going into 1 prize, but that also makes any end from Brit so much more devastating. There's the energy switch.
So he's just playing cards to Juniper, yep.
Yeah. I mean, playing the energy switch there does also let him just G-Booster twice if he can hit it.
Yeah,
and hit another energy, of course. Looks like no G-Booster in hand.
Yeah, I don't think so. So this is actually a little bit awkward, but Brit has 0 cards in hand.
Yeah, it's probably fine. Like, if I'm James, I'm just gonna do 100. Doesn't have a muscle band, does he? No, just 100 and just. Oh well, nope, never mind. Sorry, I did not see the G-Booster. Yeah, this is no longer awkward.
Well,
take the knockout, and Brit's next top deck will decide this game.
If you can KO the
slam
Genesect,
it, Brit.
It's not terrible, but that looks like a disappointed flop there.
Yeah, I have to imagine if it was anything relevant, he would have just slammed it.
Yeah.
Yep. He's making James have it. James
Right.
actually, from what the cards are on the board, he doesn't actually have the win, so Brit being
Another
astute and
stompy game 1. These are a
Yeah.
little disappointing. Wish we could get some full
yeah,
games.
and also these players being 0-1, 0-2, I don't think knocks you out of the tournament. You still have a
No.
chance at top 8, but it definitely puts you behind.
Right.
0-3 is certainly out of the tournament. So this is
Yeah.
means a lot to
Going 0
both
and 2
players.
this early is also very bad. Even
Right.
even if it is against James, who will likely do
Right.
well throughout the tournament, you're just more likely to be paired with more people who won't do well.
Definitely. And then also, at 0-2, I mean, assuming that you have to 6-2 to make the top 8, you know that you have to rattle off 6 in a row.
Right.
And it's one of those heartbreaking moments where, they always say that it's better to just never climb up the mountain than to fall from the summit.
Yep.
Like, I'm sure that you would honestly rather be 0-3 than 0-2 all the way to 4-2 and then 4-3.
Right.
Waste your whole afternoon. Not waste, you get to play the Pokemon trading card game, but spend your whole afternoon hoping,
Yeah,
and then
it's better
falling
to
short.
just get it over with.
Yeah, definitely.
So Brit will be going first this game. We're looking for Thunder start ideally. I don't know. I think this matchup is a little tilted in Virizion's favor in the first place. So we'll see if he can make a 0-2 comeback.
Yeah, I think it's just... I will be the first to admit that I don't have much experience with the Plasma decks. I'm not a big fan of them, just the way they play. I don't like playing them myself, so in my leisure time I'm not going to spend time playing them. But I think it probably just depends how aggressive Brit is, or Brit's start is.
Right.
Like, the Plasma deck's all about aggression. If you can get the turn 2
Yeah, Kyurem
big
can
attack with
definitely
Kyurem,
be
some
a
Deoxys
truck
on
against
board. Yeah,
anything.
exactly. Just start to go fast. But if you have a hand like that where you have a decent start like Brit had before, but you ran out of supporters, kind of
Right.
have nothing really going on, the Virizion deck will certainly just run over you.
Plasma was one of the decks I ended up playing a lot in the past 2 weeks or so, and I had it like fizzle out a lot mid through late game, where you got really far ahead, but then it was just a huge struggle to take your last 2 or so prizes, because you'd run out of energy, have awkward hands, just all kinds of things can happen to the Plasma deck since it's trying to do a lot of
Right.
different things.
Looks like we have a Frozen City, 2 basic energy, and I think it was a Skyla. He just drew a computer search as well.
So he's got the Thunderous and the Lightning energy.
Yeah. He also has a computer search to start discarding energy. He can even Skyla for an Ultra Ball. I think he has Skyla in his hand.
Yeah, that's a great hand.
Start getting that going. Can't really ask for much more. A Bicycle as well. He's in the position too where I think he can, if he has a Skyla, he can Skyla for the Ultra Ball, discarding water, something else, and then have the computer search find a supporter next turn.
Yep.
But I have to imagine
Or
he
he
doesn't.
just passes.
Yeah, I have to imagine he doesn't have the Skyla. Then all apologies.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's
Still-
no point playing the computer search there since
Right.
James could end and he can't attack anyway. So.
Right. You might as well see, give yourself another draw step, draw something relevant, see
Right.
what James is doing, at least give yourself more chance to do something.
Yep. So James goes for the aggro Genesect here instead of attaching grass to Virizion. An interesting choice.
Not sure how much I like that.
Yeah.
At this point, I think James is just banking on Brit never drawing anything,
Yeah.
which in fairness, never, it could be literally next turn, James just attaches a grass G-boosters. But if Brit has anything here, you're just pretty
I think my
far.
biggest problem with that is just how good Verdant Wind with Muscle Band is against Thunderous.
Yeah.
Because you can power up your guys and simultaneously set up the 2-hit KO. It's just,
Right.
it puts you so far ahead, and I don't see why you'd opt to go a little bit of a... It seems like the faster route, but it ends up being a little bit slower.
It's the more aggressive route, but mid-game
Yeah.
you're nothing. It could also just be that James doesn't have any relevant cards in hand,
Right.
and so he wants to at least maybe be able to attack with Genesect
Right.
rather than just attach to the Virizion pass. But I think in that situation I would still just attach to the Virizion, Colress Machine to the Genesect, and then kind of get the best of both worlds in a way. Brit bicycles. He looks like he computer search for the Kyurem. Bicycles. I think he drew a Lice. Oh, he drew the Juniper.
Yep.
Great. So now Brit's totally back in action.
So he'll have the Kieran powered up for the next turn.
Yeah, he has the energy in his hand, and he can attach off the Raid Knuckle.
So he also has a muscle band. That looks like a Colress machine.
Yeah, just gonna go ahead and get the other Kieran loaded up. And this is exactly what the deck wants to do. Ideally, you have a few more Deoxys to really bump that energy, or bump that damage up, but Brit really can't ask for a whole lot more here.
Yeah, and 50 on that Virizion is also good since, or no, Virizion has 180, right? So.
And there's, another bicycle.
This is really taking off for Brit this game. So he gets the energy attachment. That's just crazy that he gets 3 energy in 1 turn.
Yep, that's the plasma deck for you.
Yep. Oh, his hand is 3 waters and a muscle band, I believe. Brit's.
I can't tell if the last card is a Colress or the Stadium, the Frozen City.
Yeah.
Again, it's something with blue borders. It kind of has a bluish white art. If those cards are remarkably different, though. If it is a Colress, he is in fine spot. If it is not, is James going to Mega Evolve?
No.
He's going to go ahead and
triple
draw 3 cards. James looks excited to triple draw too.
Yeah.
Never seen someone that is a Colress, I think, in Brit's hand.
Yeah, and that just makes that play of attaching to the Genesect instead of the Virizion last turn even worse.
Agreed.
And I'm sure James had like a solid thinking process there, but
yeah, it just puts him in this position where, again, this is what he's doing, and at this point, this is probably the best thing he could do, because he might as well just draw cards and try and get out of the situation, but certainly...
Yeah, he has to dig himself out of a situation he didn't need to be in the first place.
Right. I mean, in fairness, if he attaches to Virizion, attaches Colress machines to Genesect, he goes for this turn and then cannot actually do the triple draw, because he has to retreat and he has to energy switch to Grass off, so... Basically, he used a supporter in the form of Shout, and a turn in the form of triple drawing in order to do this, which isn't terrible, but definitely not the spot you want to be in.
Yeah, and it looks like Brit's just going to Frost Spear for
50.
Lots of damage.
60 with
60
the
and
Deoxys.
30, so he'll be setting up that Genesect and the Kangaskhan for KOs.
Interestingly, he didn't attach the rainbow in his hand to either the Kyurems. And that's a Pokemon Center lady, it looks like. Do you just heal damage off of the...
Yeah, it's you heal 60 off of whichever Pokemon you want. James drops a kid and a...
And he triple draws again. Draws for turn.
Yeah, James is in a pretty rough spot here. He'll be looking to catch up on energy attachments, but he's just like so far behind. The Deoxys is active, but we'll have to find a way to get it out of the active position, which will give James an additional turn to catch up. But Brit's got a field full of Kyurems here.
And there's the...
And Brit does get the switch. So,
escape rope.
Yeah, the escape rope. He'll be able to Frost Spear again. Yeah, Brit's just on fire here.
James looks unhappy to be in this spot.
Yep.
Brit's board is great, but he hasn't done a whole lot yet.
Right.
He's going to start soon, don't get me wrong. He just Junipered and he's going to be able to attack, but he actually, like, the game is definitely still could go James's way. Brit hasn't locked this up by any means. James does look unhappy to be in this spot, though.
Yeah, Brit definitely does the conservative control of the board, suffocate your opponent style here.
Right.
When he could have been a Blizzard
burning.
Yeah, Blizzard burning. But instead he's just choosing a Frost Spear since James has no pressure on board. And he's debating about dropping a fresh Virizion with a grass energy.
It's okay.
And No, he can search for the energy switch to try to get the one-turn Virizion. Let's see.
Oh, there's the
The herbal
energy.
All right.
James's deck is full of surprises.
Yeah, he plays a lot of interesting 1 or 2 ofs here.
Mm-hmm. There's the G booster and the Juniper.
Yep.
This has to be probably the strangest board I've seen in quite a while. It's
Yeah,
not like
absolutely.
it's just one of the decks that doesn't play any competitive cards, but it's just playing like a mash of them.
Yep. So he doesn't slam the energy switch, which I assume means he doesn't have it. Probably just leave a little mousy up front.
He has to attach to retreat it too. He is going
Yep.
to, so yep, just gonna shift the turn back.
And this just gives Brit even more presence. Each turn that goes on that he continues to Frost Spear, just getting him closer and closer to domination. Oh,
And
yeah.
there's the Lysander.
So he's able to KO James's only threat on board. And the G booster along with it.
And there's the knockout. Brit's down to 4 prizes. James is still at 6. And James at least has the Virizion set up now if he has an energy in hand, but it could be too late. What I'm finding so far from watching and playing a little bit of this format is that games are often decided by the, not early game, but by the mid game.
Right.
They're often just, once you, like, Brit could definitely still lose here, but I'd probably put Brit at, 70% to win.
Oh, yeah.
And there's just times where, this also happened last year to an extent, there's just times where an opponent will have such a dominating board state in the mid game that doesn't matter what happens.
Yeah. It's even more severe with these decks that give up only 1 prize with things like Kyurem.
Right.
You have to be in a controlling position to win against them since it takes so much more effort.
Definitely. And James looks at a fresh new hand.
So he gets a Genesect and an energy. And a muscle band. It's not bad. You're looking to attach to the Genesect. I feel like he's just probably too far behind since that Virizion will probably be KO'd next turn.
We go ahead and try and load up that Genesect.
Yeah. See, it's just hard to deal with 3 powered up Kyurems.
Definitely.
Especially since you have to use G Booster to one-shot them for the most part. Although he does have Deoxys, which is a massive plus, since he can one-shot them without G Booster and with Muscle Band. It doesn't have to expend as much energy. Second Junipers. Looking to get a switch here. And another water or rainbow energy. Let's see.
There's the Deoxys.
Does he have
On this machine.
nothing?
And this is, yeah, due to the
He has,
Frozen City,
Not very many cards left in deck.
yeah, it's looking pretty small. Maybe James just had some kind of mill tech. I was gonna say I think it's fine for Brit to just retreat and take the KO here. If it wasn't the KO, would probably still do it. He's so far ahead, but especially because he's the KO, I don't think it really matters. He still has a fully built Kyurem.
Yeah, and he'll get an energy back from that retreat.
Oh wait, well actually
I believe.
hit the knockout off this Thunderous. Sorry, I didn't see that he promoted the Thunderous.
No.
So 30, 40, 50. Yeah, it's not actually going to knock it out.
Yeah.
So I guess he's just playing the ultra conservative route, which is
Right.
just.
He does only need to KO Virizion and then 1 other EX.
Yeah.
So.
He can also. I don't know how much Kangaskhan has on it, but he can Lysander,
Oh, yeah.
Blizzard Burn, put the extra damage on the Virizion now, I believe, because it has 60, and then he did 30,
he did 70.
80.
He has 130 total, I believe.
There's an Ultra Ball to James.
So he's just throwing away cards here. Trying to get rid of the trash he doesn't need.
Protecting himself from ends, too. Like, I think he's going to want to be playing ends, so highest density of the cards. Doesn't actually look like Brit's deck is that thin, looking at it compared to James's.
Yeah, he was holding it out.
Right.
Looked super thin. Let's see what he decides to do here. Just using Verdant Wind, getting this other Genesect powered up.
Emerald Slash.
Yeah, Emerald Slash, sorry.
No worries. And Brit's good to just sit back here. Oh, he has a Lysander in hand even, so he's good to sit back here, attack with the Thunderous again if he wants to, load up more energy. I'm not sure if he has. Oh, he just definitely has the Plasma at least in his discard
Plasma
pile.
loves just sitting back and doing nothing. Nothing. It's not really nothing for Plasma.
Right. Looks like he has a Water and 2 Plasma and a Lightning. No Rainbows in the discard. Go ahead and attach to that Kyurem.
Yeah.
Muscle Band on the same Kyurem.
He'll be able to KO Virizion with Thunderous and just have 2 Kyurems powered up.
His deck does look pretty thin. He's actually drawing 10 cards here, and there can't be many more than that in the deck.
And
What if he decks himself? Nope. Looks like he's got at least 2 or 3 in there. And as long as he doesn't deck himself, this should seal the deal. A giant hand, a very thin deck, even if he gets end.
Yep, and he gets to throw away another card he won't
3
need.
cards. So he gets 13 cards, or 9, 12 cards after that.
Yep.
So 12 cards left in his deck, and he should be fine. Playing the Plasma Ball there, I think this is to confirm the contents of his deck and thin it out for end. Playing the Color Machine for the same reason.
Yep.
It looks like we will be going to a game 3. Brit doing his best to make sure nothing can go wrong. And there's the knockout. Gonna find, I was gonna say gonna find the Water, and he does. 2 fully loaded Kyurems. He even has the Deoxys in his hand now if anything bad happens.
Yeah, and there's just actually no way for James to win at this point since he still has to take 6 prizes.
Yeah. I mean, if James didn't have end here, it should actually be game. Oh, there's the end. Alright. Let's get interesting. So he had 12 cards left. Or he had 11 cards left, and then he drew 2 more to go to 13, I think.
Yeah.
But the thing is with Brit's board state right now, that's kind of irrelevant. Like, he doesn't need to be drawing into anything, trying to hit anything. He has basically everything on board.
All Brit needs is a Lysander to win the game.
I don't know if he actually wins there.
He would.
Oh, he can knock out the Kangaskhan, right. For what it's worth, he probably has 1 Lysander and 11 cards, so he doesn't have a good chance of hitting it, but he has turns to spare as well. As you were talking about earlier, even the Kyurem.
Yeah, he can still Frost Spear for
exactly
forever.
Yep. And there's the Plasma Ball.
Yeah, Deoxys will win the game too. Yep. So he gets a Deoxys and he'll Blizzard Burn for the KO. After
plays on the board, and there's the
right.
game 2 handshake.
Yep.
I'm not a big fan of the game 2 handshake. How about you?
That was a pretty decent game. Got to see both decks play out, and James could
have drawn better, but
honestly, I think James's plays were just a little subpar there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can understand the reasonings behind what he did, and they're certainly not the worst plays he could have made. But I kind of subscribe to the kind of John Finkel thinking of card games where there's a right and a wrong decision. And even though there are varying levels of wrong, there aren't varying levels of right.
Yeah.
So I think James's plays were probably wrong, but they did have some sort of logic behind them at least. And I'm really not sure if he would have won even if he had done the original turn 1 Virizion play, because he didn't draw energy for several turns.
Yeah, and Brit just got rolling really early.
Right, so it might not have ended up mattering. Players shuffling up for game 3. Most of the players still playing here. Not a lot of tables finished up. Haven't heard a word out of your pick to win the tournament, Chase Maloney, in a long time. Don't know if he won his first match or not. Can't see him near any of these tables, but we'll certainly update you guys on the progress of the well-known players of this tournament as time goes on. Players shuffling up. What do you think of the new set coming out? Have you seen any of the cards or anything?
Only disappointed there's no Vanna in it.
Oh, yeah.
The cards are very interesting. I think Gengar is cool. I'm glad Spirit Links are coming out. Maybe a little overdue.
Yeah.
You know, the Team Flare items are pretty neat.
Yeah, that seems really cool. Is there a Mega Bayonet? Like, is that a Pokemon in the game?
Yeah,
in the game it is, but not in the cards yet. All right.
Yep.
Looks like he missed his chance.
Yeah, I definitely don't think the set is too exciting compared to Fists, at least.
Yeah. I haven't looked into it too much, but I know that there is some talk of Mega Manetric.
James slams down in basic. He doesn't look very happy.
Kangaskhan
again.
How could you not be happy with the Kangaskhan start? If you could attack on turn 1, Kangaskhan would be like 15% better.
Yep.
Tyler Ninamura packing up from his match. He's leaving last from the table, which I think usually means that you've won. You know, in my experience, the loser tries to scoop him up and leave real quick, so that might indicate that. Oh, nope, Tyler lost. We're wrong. Our predictions have been terrible. Tyler moving to 1-1, losing to Hayden Cameron Jacobus, who's a senior from our area that recently aged up.
So James is Ultra Balling here, I believe.
Yeah, I can't tell what card he's playing, but it's either Ultra Ball or Computer Search.
Yeah. Yep.
And plays it face up, so I assume it's an Ultra Ball. Another one in hand. Ooh, 2 more in hand, it looks like. Oh, no, maybe it's just 1 more. There's the Herbal Energy.
I don't know if he shuffled his deck there. He's probably planning to go back in.
Looks like he's debating between 2 supporters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Then go ahead and shuffle up the deck. Think of how different Pokemon coverage would be if there's no shuffling.
So much better.
There's the Juniper. Oh, looks like he had a Bicycle actually, so maybe he was just considering trying to draw more cards. The fear with that is that you then bicycle into 2 more Juniper and or other good cards.
Yeah, I generally choose to not bicycle there.
Yeah, me too.
Especially in a situation like this where you don't really need anything.
Right.
And don't want to discard resources you might need.
Right. And if there was a Virizion active, I don't think I would have played any cards there. Like right now, I think he's trying to dig for the switch and get through as much of his deck as possible. But especially in the Virizion deck, I'm pretty conservative about just not playing cards.
It has to do almost nothing to win the game, so.
Chase Maloney is 1-0-1, tied his first round. Ethan Batson, the local player who top 8'd this tournament last year, is 1-1. So a lot of the good players taking losses or draws early in the tournament.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to see how this top 8 shapes up. So Brit goes ahead. Plasma Balls for Kyurem, attaches to it, Muscle Bands, Frozen City, and ships the turn back. Not indicative of a great hand. It's the Stream Curse.
We gotta make these
games 1 and 3 can't be good.
Gotta make these guys play more supporters.
I know, right? There's a Skyladder, James. I want to see James go for it. I want to see James just Skyla, Ultra Ball, Mega Kangaskhan, Mega Evolve go. He only needs a DCE to make it happen.
The ultimate BM.
Wham Bam Punch. God, could you imagine losing to a Wham Bam Punch while you're drawing dead? Just,
oh my God.
Even if your opponent misses it, he's still just two-shotting you.
You gotta scoop to avoid the humiliation.
Yeah. Don't give them the satisfaction.
No. Still Skyling. Sure he'll choose
Gets
to
the
just
Juniper.
triple draw at the end of this turn.
Or Mega Evolve. Do you happen to see Brit's 2 cards in hand, or maybe 3?
Lots of energy. That's what I saw.
Wonderful. Just get the Juniper, indicative that his hand's not great. I think I see a Professor's Letter, a Grass Energy.
Energy switch there.
Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and draw 3.
It's like
Sean
we're
off the
back
top for Brit, it looks like.
in 06,
Some
whenever
sort
that
of
was good.
supporter. Oh, Juniper, even better.
All right. So he gets something at least. Not super ideal. He's pretty far behind at this point.
Gavin Bennett, a local Canadian player who won the BC State Championship a few years back and also has played on the Magic Pro Tour. He's now 2-0, so maybe we're going to see some cross-game.
The boy's back.
Yeah, the King's back. Long live the King. All right, an escape rope from Brit.
This is pretty good. James will have to draw a switch and an energy or an energy switch to be able to use Virizion next turn, and both his Genesect and Virizion will have damage on them.
We know he has the energy switch in hand already.
Yeah.
From his last turn, so could have it here. Brit has a Colress in hand, a couple energy. Still not a lot going on, but certainly in a fine position.
That Deoxys is definitely a threat to Genesect, especially with previous damage on it. So he Ultra Balls.
So James has the energy and the energy switch in hand, so he can get an Emerald Slash off this turn if he wants to.
I assume he'll look for a fresh Genesect.
Probably. Genesect, I think, is his path to winning this game.
Yep.
And one that already has 50 on it can't be where you want to be. Considering what he's doing. Both players playing it kind of slow here.
Yeah, a little bit. It's hard when you have to actually make decisions with the cards in your hand and not just say pass.
Yep. Sam Chen, who we saw lose a heartbreaking 3-game match, just won to go 1-1. Be really interesting. This tournament could turn out to be one of those tournaments where you have a bunch of the good players at 2-1 or 1-0-1 or something like that early, and just like that kind of have to claw back, and they end up knocking each other out in the middle of the tournament. A bloodbath. But so James going for Juniper there. He does hit the switch. Attaching to Genesect doesn't matter. It's still the right thing to do, I think. Just have it loaded up next turn. I would definitely play the switch there too. I agree with that play. Don't waste the energy.
So he gets the 70 damage Emerald Slash.
Powers up Brit's Colress to 6 as well. There's a 70. Did he attach the G-Booster before or after the Juniper?
After, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I would have done that. I'm not sure that it's relevant enough,
I almost 100% of the time hold it.
Me too. Getting it Megaphone is just such a dagger.
Right.
And Brit draws, looks like another energy. Gonna go ahead and attach the Rainbow to that Deoxys.
Yeah, so he'll have 2 Deoxys threatening the board. This Kiram's just gonna Frost Spear again, I assume.
Yeah, he's already attached, so I don't think he really has another plan. Bicycled for 1.
Colress Machine or anything, so.
And there's the Colress for 6.
I expect him to hit that Genesect, the one with the G-Booster.
Yeah.
Put it in Deoxys range.
And like you were saying before, the great thing about this deck is that Brit is basically fine with James G-Boostering his Kiram. Like, he wants that. He needs to draw another one, certainly, but...
James will be able to Emerald Slash the Kiram for KO next turn, which is really
Oh,
good
right,
for
because
him.
it does have the 70 on it already. My apologies. Did you win, David? David Cohen, 2011 World Champion, advances to 1-1. And there's the Megaphone.
Yep. It's very good.
There's another
Especially
Deoxys.
since most of these Genesect decks are only playing 2 Shadow Triad. Seem to be very conservative about how you use those.
Definitely. And there's the Plasma Ball for the Kiram.
Yep.
And Brit's definitely in the driver's seat right now.
Yeah.
James isn't too far behind. It's certainly anyone's game, but Brit feels good about his position.
So, he's choosing the Frost Sphere, obviously, and we'll see if he hits the already damaged Genesect or the fresh one. Yep.
Hitting the fresh one.
Yep. I like that.
James draws a card. It is a Mega Kangaskhan EX.
Oh, yeah.
Mom's home.
Just Mega Evolve. Slam it.
There's the replacement muscle band.
So these decisions are pretty straightforward for now. The best play is to Emerald Slash. We'll see if he can get another Genesect on board, or if he wants to just attach the energy to the Genesect with 50 on it. So he attaches to the Genesect with 30, and Emerald Slashes is going to attach 2 more energy to the Genesect with 50 on it, and KO that Kyurem. We'll see if these Deoxyses can go the distance. James is actually in a pretty good position here. So if Brit can KO either of those Genesects, he'll be in an insane board position, though.
Oh, for sure. And he's drawing 8 cards,
Yep.
right? 8 cards of the Chorus.
Which means he won't be able to KO a Genesect with Lysander.
Right. Rainbow on the Thunderous. This is another thing about the Plasma deck. Not that it's a new deck or anything, so I'm sure that our longtime players have already heard all of this, but just the ability to just, oh, I'm in a bad spot. All right, Thunderous, 1 energy, rebuild my board.
Right.
Like, not only are you doing 60 for 1 energy with an EX, and then you're also just rebuilding your board.
Right.
It's just,
It's very good.
the synergy of the deck is so important to its success. Put the water on the Kyurem, it looks like, and ships return back to James. There's the switch out of James, considering playing it. Nope. Holds it back. James looks like he's in agony over this decision.
Yeah, this is a tough match.
Definitely.
He has to figure out how to outrace the Deoxys while his Genesect are already damaged, and he needs G-Booster to KO them.
Which you can only get back via Shadow Triad.
Yep.
It's already in his discard pile. That's fine. Also, a draw is almost as bad as a loss here.
Right.
Like, it's not where you want to be. And again, I don't have time, but a lot of the games are finishing up. I would not be surprised if this game comes close to a draw, but
Yeah.
the boards are aggressive enough, at least James's is now, that I think the game can finish. But without the G-Booster, certainly slows James down a bit. There's the switch for the Genesect. James choosing not to Emerald Slash onto the Kangaskhan because it's a little bit too late for that plan to come into action. Going to go ahead and do 100 to that Thunderous and 20 to the Kyurem.
So, I think this puts Brit in a very powerful position, since he'll definitely be able to KO that Genesect. And James will only have 1 Genesect remaining that will have to fight against 2 Deoxys and soon to be a Kyurem. So,
How much does Genesect have on it? Like a lot? 2 dice at least? Okay,
yeah.
so enough.
Yeah. I believe it has 80, if that's the one that had 50 on it before.
Yeah, I honestly can't tell, but that makes sense. And there's an N. Both players resetting.
So he doesn't
6.
even have to spend his energy to retreat.
It was only
which
the
is
5,
great.
actually. Yeah, that's incredible. Just going to go ahead and Deoxys.
And James may as well be at 6 prizes here.
Yeah.
Since he's going to be KOing Deoxys instead of Kyurems.
Yep. And then I'll put him in a position where he has 3 prizes left, and then has to knock out 2 more Pokemon in the form of Kyurem and Deoxys, putting him pretty far behind. Looking for that G-Booster. Shadow Triad. Bring back the G-Booster.
Yeah.
5 cards in hand. James still not great though. He takes this knockout, goes to 3 prizes, goes to 1 energy on his Genesect, if that's what he chooses to do.
Right.
He has
the
an
Deoxys
N.
will not be able to respond with a KO though.
Yeah, that's important.
This is tough.
That's one of the fears. I really don't know if Herbal Energy is correct here, and when you're playing Energy Switch, maybe
Yeah.
he's not. Maybe he's only playing a single copy. I've seen a few lists like that, but Herbal Energy just does not seem like it provides enough utility. But I guess we have seen it kind of counteract the Frozen City in this game.
It's one of those cards that I'm not sure its pros outweigh its cons.
Right. And the Caller's Machine, Muscle Band.
This Caller's Machine does have a plasma left, which is very good.
I'm not sure if I wouldn't have just...
Save it for red signal, maybe?
Well, or... I'm trying to think out how if he could attach to the active one. But I guess knowing he has the energy switch, it's fine. Just loading up the other one. Because the more energy you put on the active one, you run a bigger chance of Deoxys knocking you out. But I think with 2, he still can't be knocked out by it. Attaching the Muscle Band, also probably not great there. Although I guess
I think that's
Brit's going to attack with Kyurem.
He already used the megaphone, right?
Brit did?
Yeah.
He's played 1.
Yeah.
Brit now taking account of James's energy.
This is definitely going to come down to the wire. Brit could land a good N and hopefully set James into an awkward position. But let's see. This 1 energy Genesect is actually super obnoxious given Brit's board position.
Definitely. Brit promotes the Thundurus. And with James at 3 prizes left, it doesn't really matter what Pokemon Brit promotes because it's just going to be, he already has the X's on board. If he plays another Kyurem, it doesn't change anything.
Yeah, he has to kill 2 Pokemon no matter what.
There's the water on the Kyurem.
He's not just doing the other Kyurem. I guess that's good with the promoted Thundurus.
Yeah,
More threats on board.
throughout this game, Brit has been very adamant about loading up 2 Kyurem,
Yep.
even if it's at the expense of getting 1 fully loaded up.
Yeah. So that Thundurus will be KO next turn, putting James down to 1 prize, and we'll see if Brit can make a comeback from that. It's tough when Genesect can just kind of overpower you with G-Booster. It's hard to make comebacks when you can do 200 damage.
He has used 1 Gyro Triad at least at this point. I'm not sure if he plays more than 1 or if he's discarded them from any other effect.
And James definitely has to watch his energy. He has to be running low by now.
Yeah, we saw Brit counting the energy out.
Right.
Just that's one of the fatal flaws, especially without Super Rod
Right.
of Virizion. And James has a Plasma Energy. Looks like he's considering attaching.
Yeah. So if he has to retreat that Genesect that's active, he will be in a pretty bad spot energy-wise, since Deoxys will be able to do, how much is it? 150? So if it has a Muscle Band, it would actually one-shot the Genesect.
That's why James
If the Genesect has 3 energy on it active.
James taking his time thinking through his decision.
Yeah.
Not something you want to make lightly, rather. Time.
So James is turn 0, which gives Brit 2 more turns to take his 4 prizes. See if he can do it. He has a lot of damage on the Virizion and the Genesect. Just has to be able to like draw a Lysander basically. It's tough. James still thinking about his play. Searching his discard pile, probably counting energy again.
Yeah, at this point you really have to slow down. It doesn't really matter. You're very... The rules still define that you have to play at a certain pace, but you can kind of relax now and figure out how you can win.
Yeah.
Unfortunate situation. Nobody likes unintentional draws, but looks like there's still good 10, 15 tables that at this tournament that are in danger of it.
He has to just be debating whether to promote that fresh Genesect or not.
Yeah, I think he's just going through the math, especially now that the
Yeah.
turns are over. He has to kind of count the turns and how that matters.
He might be able to just go for a tie with a red signal. Maybe he realizes that he's not able to win the game.
Yeah, so he is red signaling.
Yep. So he is going for that route.
He's not like happy about it. Neither player looks too happy about the situation right now.
So he decides to not. Oh, he doesn't red signal.
It does not activate red
retreats.
signal. Attaches, retreats to Virizion.
And energy switch to the Virizion.
Although if you have energy switch, I wonder if it's not better. No, I guess that's fine. I guess that's correct.
Because he
No
doesn't.
energy
He
for
wouldn't
James.
be able to. Wait. He's able to kill a Thunderous.
So he knocks out the Thunderous. He's under 1 prize now.
Yeah.
No energy in his deck.
So he is threatening the KO on Kyurem next turn. The turn after Brit's turn, obviously.
Right.
So Brit can't really use Kyurem, or he may actually lose.
Right. Putting Brit in an awkward position here.
Yeah, he has to draw a rainbow for this Deoxys, so it looks like. Yeah, he needs to have a perfect hand, pretty much, to be able to pull out the win.
Yeah, I see Brit taking some consideration. The game is probably going to move a little bit slow at this point to try and avoid the draw here.
So he
There
does
goes
promote
that
the
Deoxys. He has a Juniper in his hand. Brit with the Colorist Machine. Taking a look through his deck. No colored energy.
Yeah.
3 plasmas. No colored energy.
So it is possible James won't have the Deoxys for the KO on Kyurem. It's not on board currently. But now he also has to find a way, Brit has to find a way to get Deoxys out of the active position.
Well,
I assume he'll be able to draw an energy.
but this is James's last turn coming.
Oh,
he has a
there's
rainbow
the
in his hand.
Okay.
But this is also James's last turn coming up, right?
Right.
So 0. So even if he didn't retreat the Deoxys, can James knock it out? Because it has no damage on it before the rainbow energy.
No.
So Brit could have just left it there and, had to
Right.
just drawn the game.
It is possible for James to have like a plasma energy switch.
Yeah, plasma energy, which Deoxys does it,
Yeah.
as well as. I assume he doesn't play Lysander with the red signal ability.
Right.
110. Tough spot for those players. You see Brit shaking his leg nervously. Brit with the Lysander in his hand.
So it looks like he's just going to go for the KO. I don't think he can even play any of the other cards in his hand right now. Wait, what? Is it not dead?
I thought it was a knockout.
Well, that's game then. Right.
Well,
I can't tell how much
I'll
Genesect
apologize for
has.
that. I'll get some better dice out on this.
No, it's fine. I think the Genesect has 90 on it. So he'd have to be able to Frost Spear and KO both of them next turn. So 50. I don't know. This is
James looking through this good pile and shaking his head approvingly, so
yeah.
perhaps he has the...
So Brit would need this Deoxys to not be KO'd, which I don't think it can be. And then he would also need Muscle Band and a way to bring up the damaged Genesect. And then he can Frost Spear for the game. That is assuming
True.
everything goes perfectly for him.
There's the third energy on that Genesect.
I'm just thinking about what he's going to do. Don't know if he can...
James looks very sad.
He looks very exasperated, so I
Yeah.
assume he can't win the game. He has to play for a tie at this point.
Retreating.
Be right back.
So this Genesect will do 120, but it's not really relevant since this is last turn.
Yep, and with
And
the
we
end
just
of
have to
James'
see if
turn, we
Brit
go
is
to
able
game
to
3.
actually win the game or not.
Can he? I don't...
He would have to get the Muscle Band and a way to bring up the,
Oh, right, because
the 90 damage Genesect. And then he can KO the Virizion
both of
and
them,
the
right,
Genesect.
right.
Yeah.
So he needs...
Muscle Band
He needs
Lysander.
Lysander.
So Brit's looking at his cards, plays a
He has the
Colorless
muscle band in
Machine.
his hand, or he has the muscle band in his deck. I know he has Lysander in his hand, but I don't. He has to draw. Oh, he has a bicycle too.
Yeah.
So then it's gonna come down to the bicycle drawing the
Yeah.
muscle band. I don't know how
Oh,
many cards he
jeez.
has though, but I did see I think 2 muscle band left in his deck, so he does have a fair chance of drawing it. Oh wait, he has a heck of a lot of cards in his
Yeah,
hand.
he does.
Kind of counting now what he can play.
This looks like he might not be able to draw anything off the bicycle.
Yeah, I think he has 7 cards in his hand. He can play 2 of them. So yeah, he has 6. And then he plays...
And they shake hands for a tie.
Yeah, that's it.
Ugh, gross, as James would say.
Players moving to a draw. Unfortunate result. It really sucks for both the viewers, commentators, and the players to watch this happen, but something that happens. We've talked about it all last year. 50 plus 3 with the cards we have in the format now. Maybe not the best tournament structure, but what can you do with what we have? Time has been called, but we are now taking a lunch break. Lunch break ends in 25 minutes.
Yep.
1:15 Pacific Standard Time. So I assume it'll actually start about 1:30. I'm going to go see if James wants to do an interview. He may not. He may have to get to lunch. But if he does, I'll be back in a few minutes.